This is the Hluhluwe-iMfalozi Game Reserve, the oldest proclaimed nature reserve on the continent of Africa, and also the one credited with saving the white rhino from extinction. Founded in 1895, this stunning park is situated in South Africa's KwaZulu-Natal province, just a few hours by car from the bustling city of Durban. Throughout the course of the 19th century, hunters across Africa decimated the white rhino population, and by 1895, when the reserve was founded, there were only believed to be less than 100 left in the wild in South Africa, with the species considered extinct in other areas of the continent. Luckily, these remaining rhinos were protected under the newly founded Hluhluwe-iMfalozi Game Reserve. Over the years, the park's intense conservation efforts have paid off, and it is now home to one of the largest white rhino populations in Africa. The park also assisted the white rhino population in being relocated to other areas across southern Africa, to places where they had historically called home. As a result, the southern white rhino population has made a tremendous comeback from the brink of extinction, with nearly 16,000 individuals now believed to be roaming in the wild across southern Africa. The landscape in this reserve is both unique and stunning, with its lush topography and extremely hilly terrain. The animals in the park forage and roam on these hillsides, making it quite different than most of the other game parks we have visited throughout Africa. Although the park is home to all of the Big Five, most visitors come here to see its southern white rhino population. Unlike many other parks across Africa, where even catching a glimpse of a lone rhino is considered a lucky find, at Hluhluwe-iMfalozi, they seem just as common as the giraffes and zebras. Within our first 15 minutes past the park gates, we came upon this family of white rhinos, keeping shade under a dry acacia tree. You'll probably notice that these beautiful animals have had their horns removed. This has been done in an effort to protect them from poaching, which is a serious problem in both the park and the surrounding areas. Up until last year, the majority of the white rhinos still had their beautiful horns, but decisions were made to remove them after a terrible year of poaching in 2023. In 2023 alone, 499 rhinos were poached in South Africa, and unfortunately, Hluhluwe-iMfalozi lost the most of any park in South Africa, with 307 rhinos being killed for their horns. This sad occurrence led park officials to make the tough decision to dehorn all the rhinos in the park. As their horns grow back every couple of years, this process will have to be repeated on a regular basis. Although you can take a guided tour through the park, we opted to drive it by ourselves, excitedly getting lost on the park's many side paths, never knowing what we would encounter around the next turn. Like this small group of massive elephants, perhaps some of the largest of which we have ever encountered in our travels, and of course, no less impressive than the rhinos as well. The elephant group was sticking close to the roadside, quickly foraging as they moved up the way. Despite their immense size, these humongous elephants can surprisingly disappear into the brush with little to no effort. Perhaps a bit risky, we decided to creep behind one of the bulls as it made its way up the road to meet its friend. Of course, keeping a reasonable distance. After all, with them enjoying the road, we weren't going anywhere fast anytime soon. In fact, there was another large elephant just to our right, foraging right beside the road. Strangely, we hadn't noticed him there. The way this elephant interacted with us was definitely something else. It came closer to investigate, equally interested in us in a curious way, almost as if to say hello and reaching its trunk out to us. We ended up spending 5 full days exploring this incredible park. During that time, we encountered some species we had never seen before, like the Hadeda ibis, a noisy bird aptly nicknamed Africa's alarm clock. I can definitely see why. Hluhluwe-iMfalozi is certainly one of the most lush parks we visited in Africa. However, this greenery comes at a price. It loves to rain here, but most of the animals seemed almost unfazed by the storm, like this lone bull elephant. We found him slowly making his way across the savanna, seemingly unbothered by the weather. Although the rain made visibility a bit difficult, it instantly brightened up the landscape, making it into something like South Africa's own little Garden of Eden. Like the elephant, the rhinos too were unbothered by the storm that had rolled through. They definitely seemed to make the most of it, and used the opportunity to take a little bit of a rest. As you can see in the video, the rain turned their skin a darker shade of gray, almost a purple color. It also exposed the many parasitic ticks tagging along for the ride. This is exactly why those little oxpecker birds are so important. Unfortunately, both Zach and I learned the hard way regarding African ticks. Let's just say a bite from one of these little parasites is certainly no joke. After exploring the reserve, I'm pretty sure their most common antelope was this beautiful animal, the nyala. Similar in size to the greater kudu, these stunning grazers can be seen almost everywhere throughout the park. Unlike Hluhluwe-iMfalozi, the nyala was a tad bit more rare at Kruger National Park. Just barely a few meters from our vehicle, we got lucky once more and watched as this small rhino family meandered its way across the road. It was a male and a female, traveling with a juvenile calf. Of course, these tank-sized creatures had right of way, so we patiently waited for the whole family to cross. Honestly, after just a couple of days in Hluhluwe-iMfalozi, we had already run out of fingers to count all the rhinos we had seen. That's just how common they are here. After the mother and calf had finished crossing the road, it wasn't long before the bull decided to follow suit. This is the rock monitor, a large lizard found throughout much of sub-Saharan Africa. Although from a distance it looks similar to a Nile monitor, its uniquely blockish head somewhat gives it away. Another interesting find, this is the African helmeted turtle, otherwise known as the marsh terrapin. This Pokemon-looking turtle was something we had been hoping to see throughout the trip. I mean, just look at its eyes. Such an amazing and rare creature to see. The late afternoon made the landscape of Hluhluwe-iMfalozi even more incredible. And of course, golden hour is usually a successful time to spot wildlife. We headed down this narrow trail to one of the park's many rivers, hoping to spot something interesting. And oh boy, we did. It was a group of rhinos, exploring the dry riverbed in the late afternoon sun. Now, talk about an exceptional time and place to see more of these epic creatures, roaming free in their natural habitat. As both of us lost count of our rhino sightings here in Hluhluwe-iMfalozi, it became quite apparent that the reserve's title of being the park that saved the white rhino was certainly well deserved. What an absolute gem of a wildlife destination.